Guys, welcome back into the live broadcasting of the European Championship. Sorry for some technical difficulties that we've experienced, so hopefully it's all resolved and we can just continue now. I'm right now commentating the game between a good friend of mine, international master Miloš Stanković from Serbia, and Maxime Lagarde from France, Grandmaster. Take a look at the game because it's very interesting. Stanković played e4, c5, and when the guy went for the timeout of defense, he played knight c3, queen c7, and Stanković went for bishop e3, a6, and played queen f3. As you know, this is a very interesting variation. It was like very popular at some point. The main idea of queen f3 is not only to make long castle, but primarily to put that queen on g3, swap it off, and after h takes g3 to have like a more enjoyable type of the middle game. So after queen f3, knight e5, queen g3, h5 was played by Lagarde. Stanković played h4, b5, long castle, and Lagarde played knight f6, which was already considered to be a suspicious move. Stanković sacrificed on b5. That's why I'm showing you this game, because it's very interesting and shows that even on this GM level happens to be like very dangerous if you don't know your opening stuff. So he grabbed the second pawn on b5, queen b8, and after that Stanković played bishop f4. So at the moment he's got like 2 pawns for the knight, and the king on e8 just looks weak. After Lagarde went for d6, Stanković sacrificed on d6. So after bishop d6, he now even sacrificed rook. So let's just take a look at everything what's happening here, and when the dust settled down, what's the final outcome. So after bishop takes e5, queen c5, he played bishop d6 because he couldn't take on g7 because bishop on e5 was hanging, and after bishop d6, he just played e5 with tempo, kicking the knight away. Keep in mind, he's down a rook, but he had 3 pawns here, which is at the moment not enough as a compensation. Although weak king, possibility to take on g7 makes his position being so good. Lagarde played knight e4, which obviously was a bigger mistake. I don't know, what did he prepare after knight g4? F3 probably would be the answer by Stanković. But after knight e4, he played queen g7, knight c3 took on h8, and after king d7, he just decided to play b takes c3. I'm just interested, could he play maybe some queen f8 or something like that, because he threatens queen e7 and queen f7 both. He just captured on c3, but he's still looking a lot better. So this is a very interesting game, and I believe it's worth of mentioning. Very, very nice one, a good theoretical game, and full of excitement and full of these crazy sacrifices. Congratulations to, at least for now, to Serbian player for performing a good game. Let's get back to top games, and let's take a look at Paravian against Sargsyan. We spoke about this game. We said that here neither of these sides should have any problems. So king e7 was the last move in the game. I can feel a draw here. By the way, I just have to correct myself, because previously I said that there is a rule of not being able to make draws within 30 moves, so that's not right. So I was just actually checking some games, and I realized that in a couple of games there were draws, so that's how I realized that that move is not applicable in this one. Let's go with the next game. This one looks like absolutely equal position. Navarra is doing better than Azarov. Simply Navarra has healthier pawn structure. This guy has like 4 pawn islands, while this guy only has 2. Based on that, Also, considering the fact that we're just talking about the position with the same color bishops, this makes white being better in this situation. I'm not sure if we can say that he's a lot better, but from practical point of view, black is going to have lots of troubles to somehow hold the draw in this game. So this is a game between Denis Kadric and Jules Mussar. Very, very original type of the game with lots of possibilities on both sides. But let's take a look at this one. Once again, opening was very interesting. Kadric was doing better out of the opening for sure. Here we stopped after bishop e3, and we just stated that white for sure enjoys more space and a little bit better game. After queen c8, played rook a6, shutting off the pawn on a7, played queen a1, brought a bishop back to f2, played queen a3, and Kadric was really, really maneuvering well in this game. After c takes, he played c takes. An interesting thing could be what happens if queen takes c3, rook c1, queen d3. Is he really ready to sack? Actually, of course, since he captured, he's ready to do that. But maybe after queen c3, rook c1, queen d3, he'd be ready to take on a7 and somehow to penetrate into the black's camp in this position. So this looks relatively interesting. And let's just see how is black going to cope with the last move by white. Looks like Kadric is going for initiative in this game. We enjoyed this game a lot. Kobalia Gelfand, we spoke previously about this game. We all agreed that Gelfand didn't have any problems. It still looks the same, although Kobalia's game doesn't look that. At some point I thought that the Gelfand not only was in the driving seat, but he was the one who was even have like a little bit more than slight advantage, but right now it looks pretty much drawish as well. Then we have Ivan Šarić against Volodar Murzin. Okay, the whole game should be based on a bad bishop on h7, and that's something, and that's complete strategy by Ivan Šarić in this game. Everything is based on shutting off the light square bishop for the rest of the game and somehow playing against that bishop for the rest of the game. So let's just see if he's going to be able to somehow prove the fact that the light square bishop is so bad. It really looks so bad. He can improve his position by playing bishop e3. He's not supposed to play knight f5 because in that case bishop would just take that knight. So don't even think of that move. And maybe he can go with king f2, knight f1, knight e3, and slowly improving his position. From practical point of view, white looks better. Goryachkina, Sarana, they drew the game. So it's one of those draws on top first 10 boards. Then we have Kirill Shevchenko against Adam Kazak. So position looks drawish. Kirill Shevchenko has a little bit healthier pawn structure, which could give him tiny advantage in this position, although I don't see a special things to play on here by white, but okay. That's the game between those two guys. Leon Livaic against Nair. He just managed to play e4 finally. And now his position looks okay. With a knight on c5, with a relatively good control of the center, possibility to here push e5, and afterwards threaten to take on g4. His game just looks a lot, not a lot better, but it looks slightly better for white. Okay, Gumulars against Cheparinov. It looks like a pretty much drawish type of the game. Then we have Nils Grandelius drew again, his game against Parligras Mircea. So this one looks okay. They just agreed on a draw. While Anton Korobov is slowly but surely squeezing out his opponent. And right now, d6 really looks weak. And he's slowly but surely increasing his positional advantage in this game. White looks a little bit better than like half an hour before. I'm not sure if it's somewhere in between slightly and much better, I'd say, and that would be my assessment of this type of the game. Let's just carry on with this one. So next one is what happens with Maurizio against Ponomarev. This game I liked a lot. I thought that this could be like a very, very nice position for White. It still looks better for White. He has better control of the center. He has better knight than bishop. But also, Ponomarev's position looks defendable, especially considering the fact that he all the time can go with some c3 and create a passer on the a file. So that doesn't look bad at all in his game. So there are a certain amount of counter chances, and I would say dynamically, Black is just doing fine. Although statically, White is probably positionally winning, but you can play and you can just say, okay, my knight, I'm gonna play and shuffle around my knight and the queen. Well, you're just going to suffer. So Black also has his own threat, so White has to be careful. Although I had a feeling that he could have gone better in this game with the white pieces. So the thing is, okay, that one. Let's go with Nasuta against Donchenko. This one we've been analyzing there. It's okay. It's a normal Rai Lopez type of the game. Donchenko, whose shape we mentioned earlier, is absolutely doing fine in this position. Okay, it's fine game. Black is absolutely doing fine. So we'll just see what's gonna happen in the next half an hour, or maybe a little bit more when the first time trouble is about to finish. So Dverny against Nguyen, and he keeps on rising here. He came up with a very nice tactical shot, e3. I like it. So let me just show you. If f takes e3, there is a very nice tactics. Queen takes c8, and when bishop takes c8, it's checkmate, rook to d8. So it's a very nice tactics. He just found this e3 and looks like he's now pressuring his opponent, or at least increasing his advantage. He's about to win the pawn, being up a pawn 4 against 3 with the rook and the queen on the board, all together with the bishop. It makes a very nice practical chances for White to push for a win. I already told you this guy likes these type of games. He keeps on improving in general. I mean, his chess is looking better from month to month. His rating is looking better, so he's becoming very dangerous, and I like what he's doing in this tournament. Bishop f1 was played by Stoczek. He defended just the pawn on c4. I'm talking about these hanging pawns. He also enjoys the bishop pair. White looks okay, even though Black somehow doesn't seem to have any structural problems. Actually, White is maybe having even more of these structural problems. I don't see this as anything that special. So in this type of the game, a position like this looks absolutely likable from White's perspective. This bishop f1 is a very nice move where he just defends the pawn on c4 and wants to go with some, for example, queen e3, or maybe some a5, and to slowly but surely keep on pressuring Black. White is in control in this game for sure. Kacharava against Rachmanov. Let's just go to that position. Kacharava played a4. Rachmanov is slowly but surely taking bigger and bigger advantage. He went with that surprising e5 against exchanged Caro-Kann. So right now he just has the rook on open e-file. White is without possibility to make mistake. Since he has the problematic king on e1, he now has problems with other things as well, such as, I don't know, I mean, he can't play anything else but king f1 there. Even a simple move like a rook e1 should do relatively fine there for black. Knight e4 as well. Black looks better in this game for sure. Then we have Sargsyan Shant against Korkolas. No, I apologize. Now this bishop on c4 looks better than the knight on f4. Is going to be able to benefit from that. Objectively speaking, position is maybe tiny. I was absolutely right when I spoke about, but wait a sec. Rook a7 and now rook a8. This must be mistake. This must be a mistake in broadcast, because he certainly wouldn't give up a piece just like that. Let me just see. Yeah, maybe it was rook b8, not this one. But okay, in any, like in any case, white just still looks better because of the bishop pair, because of open a-file, possibility to go after b5, and rook on the 7th rank. So there is a mistake in the broadcasting with rook a4. Wait a sec. So it was like a takes, rook a4. Nobody would give up rook for nothing. And after rook a4, rook a7. Okay, it's mistake in broadcasting. So forget about this one. Let's go with the next. We have Gorodetsky against Varverdam. Material is equal, although Varverdam makes some pressure against this pawn on c3, takes advantage of a little bit better bishop on g7. So from practical point of view, I'd still prefer a little bit more black here. Then another game is Gökçerkan against Darda. Darda is playing really good so far. His position also looks okay, since the pawn on e4 looks kind of backward. He also has like 3 pawn islands. He's got these double pawns on c3 and c2. Pawn on a3 doesn't look better either. Black absolutely looks in full control of the game. Safarli against Kraus. Safarli has passed pawn on d5. He's got a bishop against the knight, with the fact that the pawns are on both sides of the board. Is he up a pawn? 3, 4, 6, he's up a pawn, so it's technically, probably, we can even say, close to be winning. Sadikov Emrecan. It's one of those positions where white just maybe is a tiny bit better because of open C and F files, although not a huge advantage, but maybe a little bit better. But it's one more of those games that is in, like drawish range. Master Vasilis, he keeps on improving on his position. Let's just see how did it go, because we spoke about this game. We spoke about these moves after castle c6, bishop f4, rook e8, queen d2, and after knight e4, we just spoke about this position, a3, bishop c3, and Master Vasilis was the first one to be in possession of the open file. After bishop e6, bishop g5, repositioning the knight and moving it to a better place. Bishop h4, having the queen g5 after knight h5. Knight h5 is what he did. He now threatens some sadly against it, but let's take a look at this. This looks pretty messy. I like the pawn on h5, which keeps and prevents the rook of going to g6. Knight on b6 is doing good. Rook on f2 defends c2. white is in control because the dark square bishop on e3 does a lot better job than the bishop on c6. From another angle, knight on d4 looks a little bit better than knight on b6. Although if I have to choose the side, I definitely choose white side in this type of game. This is very interesting. This is very interesting. Okay, so what else do we have there? We have like Maretrosian against Ahmadzada. Maretrosian is keep on pressuring his opponent, like 3-6, 2-4-6. So it's equal in terms of material, but in terms of pawn structure, white is a lot better. This guy has like 3 pawn islands. He has a weakness on f5. His king is pretty naked, and white has to be better in this position. Okay, this is like very, very interesting one. Okay, let's carry on with the next one. Reshev against Anton Guijaro. Guijaro made something that everyone has to do when they fight and play against hanging pawns. He blocked the hanging pawns, and from this point onwards, he just has to somehow benefit from that blockade on d5 and c4 that actually made these pawns on c3 and d4 being weak, and Guijaro is doing great, strategically speaking, in this position. Pretke against Castellanos. I told you Castellanos is a good player. He's doing good in this game. Pretke doesn't seem to have anything that's special. It doesn't look like he's got anything concrete. Black's position looks pretty compact, so I'd say with mutual chances on both sides. Then we have game between Kovacevic and Wojtaszek. We already spoke about this game previously. I told you that Alexander Kovacevic is an experienced, strong player, and he knows his stuff. Take a look at this one. Knight on b3, all together with the pawn on a5, with the pawn on d5. They absolutely shut it off, the bishop on b7 and queen on a8. Also, he's got a very nice bishop on e3 that controls diagonal g1, a7, but also it controls h6, c1, which means that the bishop on g7 has lots of problems there. So from strategic point of view, white for sure is better here, and Wojtaszek is going to have lots of problems in this game, and this is exactly what I told you. Kovacevic is an experienced, strong player, and he is doing great with white pieces. Esipenko, once again, he's got a better position. He's got a bishop pair. Although, to be honest with you, even yesterday he had much better chances, and still he drew that game. Here, he once again is in possession of the bishop pair. His opponent has possibly weak pawn on e6, possibly weak light squares around, I'm talking about d7, e6, f5, f7, g6, even h7. So Esipenko looks a little bit better against Kozakovsky. Etienne Bacrot, so position looks, in terms of material, there is material balance, but it means nothing, because pawn structure is much better for white. Second thing, king on g8 looks weak, and all these things just make Etienne Bacrot being a lot better here, and I believe he's gonna push this and win this game without much problems. Then we have Santos Latassa against Bronstein, or he's just threatening to take the knight on g3. Oof, am I missing something? He's about to win that knight on g3, so he looks like completely winning. Okay. Then we have Injic. Injic keeps on increasing his advantage in the game against FIDE Master with 2460, so he's a strong FIDE Master with a strong rating even for IMs. So Injic against Gimpu, he's up a pawn, he's got a control of the c file. Injic looks better in this game, a lot better, I'd say. Manuel Petrosian against Sanikidze. Sanikidze is somehow, in my opinion, undeservedly with such a small rating. He's an experienced player, used to be 25-50 for all these years, so he's even performing good in this game. I don't think he's going to be having problems to make draw in this one. Although, let's be honest, with a rook on d6, bishop on b3, rook on e3, queen on f4, white has nice initiative and nice tactical possibilities in the game. So this looks probably from practical point of view, it looks okay for white. Okay, that's one thing. Let's carry on with the next one. So in the case of let's go with Samonenko against Maxim Chigayev. Samonenko is a young Ukrainian IM, extremely strong player, extremely strong kid, and of extreme talent. Definitely he's in full control of this game. I like his position here. And Vocatura likes these kinds of positions in chess. So this looks really promising for white. And I don't think he's going to have some special problems in converting this into a full point. He simply enjoys this type of games. We can just keep on checking this game because this guy is in serious time trouble. So we can just check what is black gonna go for. That's one thing, but nothing. Tersakayan is also a lot better against Quentin Loiseau. C5 is hanging. He's about to win the pawn. He can choose the moment when should he take the pawn, take the bishop, but basically take the pawn on c5. White is a lot better. White is a lot better. Should be a technical position. And this is young and talented Erdogmus Yagiz Khan. He's looking, this is a very unusual type of the game because he's got 4 minor pieces against the queen and the rook. Should be winning for white, but I'm just saying should be because you never can calculate properly what's happening on the board because your opponent has like 4 minor pieces and you just have to fight hard against them. Probably giving up rook for 2 pieces would be ideally here for white, but it's far from reality. Okay, so maybe queen e2 here, bringing the queen back because knight f6 just attacks the queen. And then stopping bishop g4, and if knight g4, you have d5. But then you just have to cope with some bishop d4, king h1, and stuff like that. Very interesting position. Okay, what about Vrnjacka against Bjerre? 2-4, 4 position looks absolutely unclear. He went with the queen f1. Went with the queen f1. Vrnjacka played queen f1. He drew yesterday against someone a lot higher rated. Now he plays against young and talented Danish player. I don't think he's having any special problems with the white pieces, so it looks to me another position that looks unclear, let's just say close to be equal. Daniel Yufar yesterday, he saved the worst position against Erdogmus, young player from Turkey. Once again, he doesn't have that bright position because as far as I see, he's like down 2 pawns. He's trying to come up with some sort of initiative, being down 2 pawns, but to be honest with you, I don't see any special initiative here for white. Then Nidarim Saratsi against Iskandarov. This is interesting because white is down a pawn, but he's got save for a king. And Iskandarov is the one who's up a pawn, although white doesn't look bad at all. So, this is absolutely unclear game. I can come up with a proper and definite, like assessment. Yergus Peshak against Hassan Chelik Hussein. So what is this? Yergus is up a pawn, although black has a very nice connectivity of his pieces. Definitely white is the one who's pushing for a win here, and definitely he's the one who's in control. Shubin Kirill against Hovhannisyan they drew. So Ante Brkic against Guy Levin. So what are we analyzing here? Ante is better, for sure better. He's playing against that knight on c2 keeps an eye on b4, controls d4. Black has to deal and to cope with a backward pawn on d6. He can always double up these pawns. By playing h5, he wants to even include some h6 ideas. White looks a lot better from practical point of view in this position. Okay, Miloš Stankovic against Lagarde. Miloš is doing great. He was down a rook. Of course, he sacrificed it. Now he's up 3 pawns, so he should be completely winning, and that is going to be a big win if that happens today. I like the rook h3. It's a nice defensive resource. If queen e1, king b2, rook b8, you always have, okay, bishop b8. But let's just imagine that even if you didn't have that rook and that bishop, you would always have rook to b3 controlling and defending yourself on the back rank. So position looks winning for Stankovic. Then Lupulescu against Kalogeris. Lupulescu enjoys a lot better position because of the bishop pair. I'm even willing to say a lot better because game is fairly open, and he really enjoys these bishops. For example, here a4 looks good. C takes d4 followed by queen e3 looks okay, and Lupulescu is a lot better. Spiropoulos Moroni, 2-4-6, 2-4-6. Luca Moroni is doing good in this game, especially after he played that knight g6, rook f5 and f4. He's squeezing out his opponent. He's got more of space, and he's in full control of the game. Then we have Jakub Siemen against Frederick Svane. White, looks like white is attacking black, and looks like in a relatively good fashion that he's doing that. So he might be going with some knight f5 here, going after the pawn on g6. I like white's position. And somehow I find it not so easy to play this game with the black pieces. So looks like one of those positions where I prefer being white, even though black is up a pawn, black looks defendable, but somehow white is the one who's running up some initiative. Kochavi drew against Grigorians. Laursas is in full control against Kilik Eray. He can go with some, I was about to say he can go with some f5, but he cannot. G5 is hanging. Although he's got better bishop than knight. He's got dominating queen on d4. He is in some sort of a problem because he doesn't have an easy way of pushing any of these pawns. If he pushes f5, he's going to be hanging g5. If he pushes b5, he's going to be hanging a5. But do you know what can he do in this position? He can go with rook c2 followed by rook g2, and then going and pushing f5 eventually and somehow. Okay, let's go with the next one. Arseny Nesterov against Han Yichen. Okay, so Nesterov is, okay, this looks like absolutely normal type of position. I don't see anything that's special for either of the side here. Okay, so let's go with the next one. Kalezic Blaža drew against Pavel Teklov. Valentin Dragnev against Georgios Mitsis. As far as I see, this looks a little bit better for white, even though the pawn on e4 is somehow hanging. Although somehow the dark square bishop and open a file, they should just give white practically better chances here. Next one is Zaur Tekev. He drew against Rudik Makarian. Okay. Then we have Suleymanli against Zavadska. Suleymanli is controlling the game. He's down a pawn, but he's got a bishop here. And not only that, Zavadska has some problems on the d file with the rook on d8, with the pawns on a5 and c6. From practical point of view, this looks a lot better for white. Tutisani against Sichev. Looks like, what's the problem here? As far as I see, black is up a piece. So this should look, or this should be winning for black. That's one thing. Kobo against Nurgul Salimova. 3-6, 2-4-5. Kobo already has like well control of the a file. He might be going, he's now threatening to take the knight. Salimova has to go back with the knight b6. And then the real question is, should white take on a5 or on c5? Probably on a5, because afterwards even c5 is about to drop. So white just looks better in this position. Then let's go with David Alexandru against Pultinevicius. David Alexandru played knight g3, brought the knight back to e4. Looks like he's repeating moves. He's happy with the draw here. Okay. Lobanov against Dejan Antic. Dejan Antic, experienced Serbian GM, has absolute control of the game here. I'm saying from black's point of view. And he's surprisingly low rated because he deserves much more, and he's very, very strong, especially with the white pieces here. I don't see and I don't think he's having any practical problems to hold this with the black pieces. Then let's go with Muradli against Patrelakis. Lots of excitement in this one after knight g5, threatening bishop d4, knight f3, or just knight h3. But can white solve all these by just moving the king up to g2? White looks a little bit better. Then Ohanian against Kiliresh. Ohanian, he just needs to take advantage of these passed pawns on d4 and d5. If he manages to push d5, he's going to be winning, but he's having problems at the moment. Yes, g5 to stop f4 by white. Although f4 is now threatened, and I don't think he can play anything else but f4. Attacking g5, connecting these pawns, defending pawn on e5, so he can eventually push the d5, and connect these pawns. Borokhovsky beat Barsagian. Borokhovsky won this in 27 moves. Let's take a look at the game. Borokhovsky played Nimzo. His opponent went for Nimzo Indian, played Rubinstein variation, played bishop d2, that is very popular lately. And after d5, knight f3, b6, captured on d5, rook c1, played bishop d3, and went for knight e5. That's a very annoying system by white here, because he just wants to support it by playing f4. His opponent brought the bishop back all the way to e7, played bishop e1, nice. He's fighting against some c5 by black, and at the same time, he just wants to go with either f3 or f4. His opponent went with c5, played f3, and after rook e8, played f4. Now he likes the fact that the guy cannot take because of f takes e file, and f7 would be weak altogether with h7. And after c4, bishop f5, b5, a3 stops b4, knight b6, queen f3. Absolutely ideal setup for white in this type of games. And I really enjoy white's game here. So let's see what happened till the end. Knight c8, bishop h3, to go and to unleash g4, play g5, captured by bishop, and nice piece, sacrifice. Knight f7, king f7, queen h5. Aha, king g8, bishop e6, followed by g6 and its mate. And after like king f8, bishop e6, knight d6, queen h7, he played f5. What a crushing game by Borochovsky here. He absolutely destroyed black. Nice one. And from even theoretical point of view, a lovely system with the white pieces. Milan Pasher drew against Guliev. Yannick Igor against Utangarido. Looks like 4-5, 4-5. Well, thanks to the pawn on a5, and considering the fact that white has this, I don't know, bishop pair, but he's about to lose that bishop on a3, it's maybe even with a tiny bit better chances for black, but let's just see what's going to happen there. So Arsovic Zoran against Gavrilescu. Arsovic is pretty good in these dry type of games, although looks tiny bit better for black because of the bishop pair, but it's holdable, of course. Momchil Petkov against Lukas Leish. So 2-4, 6-7, 3-4. He's got white has a piece for, and black actually has 3 pawns for the piece. I prefer black in this game. I prefer black, even though Grandmaster Petkov is up a piece, but I don't see anything that's special about having the bishop on d8. King f7 is a nice move. Black looks good. Black looks good. Teodora Injac, best Serbian women player, she enjoys these type of positions. She's absolutely doing good here. These double pawns on h7 and h5, a good bishop on g2. She's playing against a very strong GM, Kaido Kulauts, who used to be almost 2600, even won Ira flat open once. Teodora is doing great. Take a look at this position. Looks in absolute control for white. Better pawn structure. Bishop on g2 is doing good. A file is on her side. Teodora is better in this position. It's nice. Stremavicius against Alsina. Stremavicius, what is this? He's got a rook and the bishop against the queen. Black should be winning. Black should be winning. Dominik Horvat beat Nemec, and Athanasios Mastervasilis playing against Cesares from Romania. This is a little bit better position for white because of better space and absolutely bad bishop on g7. Let's get back to the starting games and let's see what's happening there. Let's just take a look at that game of, let's go like this. Let's go once again all the way down. So Sargsyan, Paravian, it looks okay. White is up a pawn, but white has a terrible bishop on a2. In the meantime, somehow Sargsyan, actually Paravian, is going to probably get the pawn back in order to somehow reactivate his pieces. This looks from practical point of view probably drawish. Then we have Navara Azarov. We commentated this game, and I just told you that I prefer a lot Navara's game because of pawn structure, and it's still like that. Kadric Denis against Jules Moussard. Kadric is in full control. He's having an open a file, pressure, constant pressure against that pawn on a7. Bishop on d7 looks terrible. Kadric can always decide when is he going to exchange the dark square bishops, because the dark square bishop on e7 is probably the only good-looking piece in black's game. Kadrić is doing great. Also, by this last move, he maybe wants to go with rook on c2, and all of a sudden go in full control of the game along the c file with the rook c2, especially having the queen behind the rook. Then Kobalia against Gelfand. It's white's turn. Gelfand has a little bit better, just a moment. Can Kobalia defend the pawn there? But even if he plays rook against the bishop, would he be able to win this, because black has these broken pawns? This is, from practical point of view, black is the one who's going to try a lot more to push this and somehow to win this endgame. I'm not sure if this could be, you know, like won, but at least it looks very, very interesting. Šarić against Murzin. Murzin managed to exchange the weakest piece, is the light square bishop, which means that this game is now just a little bit maybe better for white, but I don't think he can find any special ways of improving this game. This is also a round drawn. Sarana drew, we know that one. Kozak Shevchenko is draw. Leon Levaich keeps on pressuring and increasing, exerting the pressure on the black's position and on the king's side. White looks better. Gumular's Chaparino, we spoke about that one. We said it's equal and they drew. Grandelius drew. Korobov is getting better and better in that position. He's not anymore up a pawn. He's even down a pawn in this position. But somehow activity of his pieces give him, okay, but he cannot take on f7. Somehow activity of his pieces give him reasonable, you know, like things to believe that he's just better and that he's got chances to push this game for a win. Okay, then we have Maurizi Marc-Andrea against Ponomarev. Ponomarev did what he had to do. He created a passer on the A file, and that's what I find difficult about this game. He just played c4. Will this guy finally make castle? Once he makes castle, he's gonna breathe easier. That one for sure, because then all these pawns on the A file may collapse. I'm talking about A4 and A6. Then what else do we have? Nasuta against Donchenko. Nasuta somehow managed to bring his knight onto the f5. Donchenko, on the contrary, played c4, and he keeps on increasing along the B and D files, and also having some sort of a pressure against the D3 pawn, which gives him a little bit better chances. Nguyen against Vrnjacka. He's got a nice practical chances to push this for a win. So let's see, Queen A2. Oops. I apologize. We're getting back to that game. Black is better. Darda is keep on pressuring his opponent. Safarli is getting better and better. Also, that pawn on A6 could eventually become a queen, which is a big thing. And that's a nice one. Then what do we do in game of Sadikov and Emrecan? So Sadikov, who was a little bit better, now is a little bit worse, mainly due to the bishop on b2, although he's got control of the c8. It's unclear, or let's just say around equal. Master Vasilis is getting better in his game. He's up a pawn, which is, no, he's up 2 pawns. And I believe for him, this shouldn't be a problem to finish off this guy. Nice game for Master Vasilis. So Gurel against Sanal, absolute equal type of the game all the time. And I'm pretty sure young Turkish star Edis Gural is not going to spoil his position, and he's going to be able to hold it. Sadly, Vugar drew his game against Ibadov. That's surprising because his position was better most of the time. Maritrosian is looking, still he looks better, he's up a pawn, but Black is now coming up with some sort of tactics. Queen g7 threatening on g3. If you move the knight, knight f3, and it's almost winning for Black. So probably only move is queen d3. And in that case, Maritrosian would be up a pawn. Then he can just unleash with b4 and undermine the knight on d4, which would give white a lot better practical chances. Then we have Reshev against Anton Guijaro. Reshev against Anton Guijaro. Guijaro is keep on pressuring hard on c3, keep on blocking these pawns. Guijaro is doing better and better in this game. It looks really, really great, and I very, very much like Black's game there. Okay, so now let's go on to the next one. What do we have there as well? So we now have Pretke Castellanos. Pretke managed to improve his position a lot more in comparison to what we've seen previously. So what's happening there? Let's go. Knight is on d5. He's having nice control of the center. Defends the pawn on c3. Castellanos cannot take it. Otherwise, he would just allow him like penetration on the king's side. 3-6, 3-6. Okay, it's still okay position, and I'd say pretty defendable from Black's point of view. But somehow he managed, I'm talking about from Pretke's point of view, he somehow managed to improve his position a lot more than it was like half an hour ago. Kovacevic, Wojtaszek, Kovacevic keeps on increasing pressure on Wojtaszek. 2-4-6, 2-4-6. Yeah, he's not up materially, but somehow possession of the C file. It's white looks better, but somehow I see lots of counter chances by Black, mainly thanks to that bishop on g7 and possibly some bishop e5 and f3 ideas. So Kovacevic looks better, but from practical point of view, he's not going to have an easy time as long as white has these, I don't know, move the knight and push the bishop and put the bishop on e5. But Kovacevic is doing great so far. Sipenko, once again, he keeps on improving this guy with and his position with the bishop here, but yesterday he was a tiny bit better. Today he was a bit better, but somehow he doesn't manage to fully take advantage of the bishop pair in either of these games. Etienne Bacroix is winning, I told you about that. He's not winning, but from practical point of view, Black's position looks undefendable because king is so weak, and both of these heavy pieces are included into the action. So Bacroix is doing great here. Santos Latasa won, and we spoke about that one. Well, at the same time, Ingic's game is completely won as well. Do you know why? Because rook on h5 is trapped. Because rook on h5, it's just trapped, and Ingic is absolutely winning. Even a rook c5 wins the game on the spot. So also the rook on h5, I'm absolutely sure Ingic is going to win this every single moment. So it's a good it's a pretty good news for Serbian fans. Kovacevic is doing great against Wojtaszek. Injic is winning against Gimpu. Pretke keeps on improving his position against Castellanos. Stankovic is winning against Lagarde. So Serbians are doing great today. Or compliments to Serbian players. Sanikidze is holding Manuel Petrosian. Samunenkov didn't. Okay, let's take a look at this one. It's 3-6, 3-4. He's down a piece, but he has bishop pair and these dangerous pawns. I would still prefer to be white in this position. I'd still prefer to be white. Open f-file, bishop pair, possibly dangerous pawns in the center. This looks better for white still. Kuparadze beat Rothstein. That's a nice result for him. Vokatura was winning. He now looks better, but for some reason I had a feeling that he had much better position previously. Tarsahayan he finally won that pawn, and he's now grinding now his opponent. That's his style of chess, so I have no doubts that he's gonna win this one. Erdogmus lost to Bernatsky. We spoke about this game, and 4 pieces couldn't hold against the queen and the rook. Bryakin, it's still normal against Jonas Bjerre, so I'm just trying to assess this one. Maybe knights on b3 and c3 are a little bit worse than knights on b4 and d5. But I still don't see that as anything that special for black. But okay, maybe a little bit better practical chances are on the black side. Yufa is trying to attack, trying to do something. He's down a pawn. No, he's down 2 pawns. And objectively speaking, he's a lot worse, if not even lost in this position. Then we have Saratsi against Iskandarov. Saratsi is the one who defends this position pretty properly. I'm not sure if he's defending or attacking here, but for sure, white is the one who's better here. Then we have Yargus Peshek against Celik Hassan. How is he going to win this? Does black have knight e5? Knight e5, rook a5, knight to d3. Could that work? So I'm just checking. Knight e5, rook a5, knight d3. Yes, exactly. That's exactly what he played. So he played after rook b5, he played knight e5. And after d takes, took on c3, put the rook behind. Okay, went with the king g8, and this is going to be draw. This is going to be draw, yeah, nice. Kirill Shubin drew against Hovhannisyan. Brkic is still better against guy 11. He's got a better bishop on e3 than bishop on e7. This guy has broken pawn structure. Knight on c2 keeps controlling everything. Brkic has a very nice and stable positional advantage. He's a strong player, so I'm pretty sure he's going to be pushing this and eventually win this one. Stankovic won. Stankovic won against Lagarde. Fantastic game. All compliments for his game with the white pieces. He sacrificed the piece, then he sacrificed another piece, then he sacrificed the rook. Then he was conducting his attack really well. 26 moves only. Fantastic game by Miloš Stankovic. Congratulations to young Serbian. I am, and all the compliments for such a nice win. Okay, a big win for the Serbian guy. Lupulescu against Kalogeris. It was a lot better position for Lupulescu. And to me now it looks just maybe a little bit better because he's up a pawn. But all these pawns are on one side of the board, so it's pretty difficult for white to push for a win. But okay, this is going to be an interesting one. Luca Moroni is winning. And okay, we just have to go back to these top games. And look at this. We have from Ford board, Kobalia Gelfand draw, Šarić Murzini draw, Gorjachkina Sverana draw, Shevchenko Kozak draw, Lević drew against Nair, Gumulars drew against Cheparinov, and Parligras Grandilius is draw. Anton Korobov is completely winning in the meantime. So he's up a pawn, king is weak. Korobov won't miss this for sure, so he's gonna convert this into a full point. I'm pretty sure about that. Kadrić Denis keeps on improving his position. He's playing fantastic. He's having nice initiative. He can choose the moment when to break on the king side with f5. All the time he keeps on preventing a6 by black. He played a fantastic game here, absolutely outplaying all the time Jules Mussar. So this is gonna be a big thing if he manages to finish this game till the end. But let's see, it's not still gonna be easy, but okay. He's got a safer king, he's got a better control of the files, a file is his, he's got a possibility to launch the attack on the king side. Queen on e7 and king on f8, they don't look good. Rook on a8 is absolutely shut it off the game. Knight on c8 only has defensive purposes. Kadrić is technically, I'd say, winning in this game. So let's just see what's going to happen there. But its position is pretty crazy. So they are both running out of time. So we're just going to be here for the next 10-15 minutes and finish all these unclear and pretty important time troubles. After that, we're going to make break, and then we're just continuing with the third part of the broadcasting, where we just usually analyze positions after the second time, actually after the time trouble and the first 40 moves, and usually those are mostly end games and finishes of these games. So Kadrić is doing great. He's having great chances to win this game. Yeah, nice. Nice. Also, the opening that he went for in this game, I really enjoyed it a lot, and it really looks good. So let's just carry on with the game. We're still waiting for a Kadrić's move. Is he gonna play to move this knight, for example, knight e2, followed by f5 and knight f4, and bishop g5, and bishop b4 at some point, or doubling these rooks on the g file to break at some point with f5. So that's what I really find interesting about this position. This could be a really interesting one. Batteria. So so Queen e7 by Jules Mussar. Kadrić played g5. Very interesting move. For example, that wouldn't cross my mind in any of these positions. Attack on the king there. So that's very interesting. It's very interesting, this move g5, because I am not sure how good or bad that move is. For example, I would never play that g5. I would just keep an options of having the f5 and breaking on the king side somehow. Okay, so we're just waiting for Jules Mussar and his move here. What do you expect? Which move by black? For example, if black, but black is somehow absolutely choked and strangled in this position, and Kadrić is just doing great. I really enjoy his position. I really enjoy his white pieces when he plays these Sicilians and Grand Prix attack, and looks like he's got a full power here. So it's nice. He played queen to b4. Can Kadrić play some sort of... I'm just thinking between knight d5, queen b5. But wait a sec. Knight d5, queen b5, bishop b4, check. And after knight d5, queen b5, bishop b4, and after king g7... maybe some queen b5, bishop b5, knight f6, and to somehow be able to penetrate along the h file afterwards. Maybe that's the point of g file there. So let's see, queen b4. That's also the only hope for Mussar in this position, to go after some of these pawns, to look for his chance in opening up the game somehow, and these bishops. Because this really looks terrible for black most of the time. Position just looks bad. So this is quite an interesting moment of the game, and I have a feeling that he has to come up with a proper thing here. Just give me a sec. Let me just see. Pawn on b3 is hanging, then he's going to have queen c4. If knight d5, queen b5, bishop b4, king g7, queen b5, bishop b5, knight f6, then he's getting some air with the bishop c6. So that's certainly not the move. I'm just trying to figure out something that might happen here by white. Also, rook to g1, queen to b3, rook to g3 doesn't seem to be working either. Very interesting position. We're just watching Zeitnot or time trouble here. So it's one of those crucial moments, and one of the crucial games in this third round. So let's just be patient, sit and wait. He's taking his time for a move. He played rook h2. He removed the rook, and he now, yeah, that makes perfect sense. Rook h2, removing the rook, bringing the knight to g4, and playing queen h3. Nice, nice, nice. Rook h2 was a very strong move. It was absolutely out of my scope, because somehow I was too obsessed with defending all these pawns or just doing something more concrete. Rook h2 is nice. Rook h2 is nice. Remove the rook from the h file. I was talking about, like, how is he going to remove this rook? He did it. Black looks almost defenseless here. Very nice one. He now has knight g4, knight f6. He's got queen h3. He's got a rook h1 afterwards. This is now lost. This is now completely lost. Especially, take a look at the black pieces. Knight on c8, nothing. Bishop on d8 without space. Bishop on e8, It's incredible position. So Kadric is playing fantastic game. He doesn't give a single chance to his opponent. So queen takes b3. I believe he should be like very consistent in this position and play so many things work here. I wouldn't go with a straightforward queen h3. I would somehow make sure to connect my threats with either bishop b4 having checks and somehow going with the my queen on h3 and jumping with the knight on f6. But I guess that's the mastery, and how can you do it in the games? So knight g4, knight f6, bishop to come on b4, and to have ideas with queen h3 and queen h8. So let's see how is Denis going to do all these things. Obviously, rook to b1 doesn't work because of queen c4, so that wouldn't be good. If he plays queen h3, Musari is going to have some queen b2 threatening both rook on, but then rook a2. Aha. Okay. Maybe just a simple move like knight g4 to keep on improving his position and bringing his knight on f6 and keep on, yeah, exactly, keeping threats. I like this one, and that was the last move for the time trouble. I also like the knight g4. That's my idea as well. He keeps on improving his position, wants to go with the knight on f6, keeps the possibility of having queen h3, rook h1 as well. I like it. Denis is winning. Denis is winning, and I really enjoy the way he conducts his you know, like initiative in this game, and how he goes after one of the strongest players in the whole competition with a white pieces. Very, very lovely game by white. I really enjoy this one. Don't forget, some years ago, he was my student. So I'm very proud of this guy. He keeps on improving like very, very much lately. So he's going to be 2600 for sure very, very soon. Knight g4, Jules Mussar is absolutely moveless here. He doesn't know what to do, how to defend this position. Position looks absolutely difficult to defend. On king e7, knight f6 is gonna come there. Queen cannot move anywhere because of some knight e5 forks and checks. Rook on b1 can always be included. Queen, of course, shouldn't be changed. So we're just waiting for his last move, and they're just going to come out of the time trouble after this move. We're just waiting for the move, and that's going to be his last 40th move in this position. So we still keep waiting on his move. What's he's gonna do? Let's go, let's go. This is a very, he played queen c4. Aha, okay. And do you know what's the golden rule of these situations in practice? Now you just came out of the time trouble, and even if you're completely winning, even if you're having like the most obvious move, you shouldn't immediately make it and blitz it out, because you should sit down, take your time, because many times I've seen that somebody had like such a big pressure in his games. He's been conducting his attack initiative for a while, doing it great, and then he just plays the 41st move like fast, and then he spoils everything. I believe that Denis should be going with, let me just say this one. If he goes with some, there are not many possibilities. He either has to go with queen e3 and to keep on having all these threats and the queens on the board, or to take on c4 and go with the knight f6. So, but it's concrete calculation. He's just a lot better. Not a lot better. He's completely winning in this position, and he's going to calculate, and I have no doubts he's going to win this. Navar Azarov, it's equal now, so it's going to be drawn. Paravian against Maritrosian, it's gonna be draw as well. I told you that he will have to find a way to reactivate the bishop and b1 and to make draw there. Then we have all these draws. Korobov won against Stremavicius, we spoke about it. Nasuta is winning against Donchenko. Wow. Nasuta is winning against Donchenko. So he's up a pawn in the same color bishops, and yes, he is winning against Donchenko. Very interesting. Probably some mistake in time trouble. Ponomarev is doing better after all that mess in the game and after a lovely opening by white against his Knight system. They just came out of the time trouble and black is pushing for a win. Ponomarev is good in these technical positions. I have no doubts that he's gonna win this. He's not so much better, but he's better there. What else do we have there? We have Nguyen against Vrnjacka. It's gonna be, it's tiny bit better, but he's the one who's pushing for a win. A long way to go there. All other games are drawn. Gorstin, Kuzubov, it's gonna be equal. Darda won't be able to do more than, he spoiled his advantage in this one, and it's gonna be difficult to win this one. Let's see for Serbian players what's happening in the game of Injic and Kovacevic is completely winning against Wojtaszek. If you remember what I told you in the beginning, I told you that Aca is a player with lots of experience and he played so many games against strong players, and when he's in shape, he's extremely good and looking like he's in shape. Nice one, he's up a piece and he's winning here. I mean, let's just wait and see what's gonna happen till the end. Then we have Dimitrios Mastrovasilis is completely winning as well. Let's just see what is happening in Pretke Castellanos. Obstacle the bishops. He's gonna have difficulties to win this one. I'm talking about Pretke. This is objectively speaking a round draw. And let's just take a look at Injic 1 in the meantime. Congratulations to Serbian guys are doing great today. Injic 1, Stankovic made a masterpiece against Taimanov defense, against Lagarde. Kovacevic is winning, and Pretke is the one who's having problems there, and would he be able to win this one? In the meantime, in mutual time trouble, Brakic got into a much better position as well, so he's also pushing for a win here. Rook g7, probably queen e8, threatening knight and bishop, and that should be practically completely winning. Okay, guys, time to make a break. Time to make a break. We've seen so many good games in these time troubles and lots of absolute turnover, you know, like games that came and turned from one side to another, upside down. So see you in like 10-15 minutes, and then we're gonna be seeing what's happening in the rest of these end games. Da čavrljaš ovdje sa mnom, ili ko na kafu da sediš. Ne, partiju mora da vidimo, partija je sjajna, ne zajevam se.
I jedan.
Kadriće ćemo da vidimo. Pa se utopi jednom, čekaj. Inđić dobija. Neće sad da bude ono, da se mešaju ovi signali. Bravo. Dobro. Da mene čuješ? Da. Malo glasnije. Nemoj da pričaš ko da si pred umiranje ovdje.
Vidiš da sam sa srpskim ovako stidljiv, vidite šta, tamo li engleski.
Da. So many interesting games and results today. We're gonna be beginning this with Liverpool beat Manchester United 7-0, so some surprises and crazy results. But here today we have our guest, international master Miloš Stanković from Serbia. Miloš made one of the most exciting and most beautiful games today, including with Kadrić's game against Jules Mussar. Miloš, we would like to welcome you here to be our guest and to analyze your game with us.
Thank you, Michko, and good evening, everyone. It's my pleasure to be there.
So far you're performing well. How many points?
2.5 out of 3 for now, but tournament just started, so we will see. A lot of interesting games expecting us.
Yeah, but today you made a great win, white pieces against Maxime Lagarde. He used to be almost 26-50. You just opted for a bishop e3 queen f3 against time out of defense.
Yeah, that's the line I haven't played before. And as I seen well in my preparation, he used to be 26-55 in his prime. But I don't know what happens. He is 25-81. Probably he suffers bad days in last period, but
well,
as I've seen his games, he's a very talented player with good potential. He's still young, so I believe in his comeback over 2600 and probably more.
He won't have an easy comeback if you defeated him today. But definitely, let's take a look at the game and show us what's happening here. So could you please share your thoughts with us about the game?
Yeah, okay, and before I start, I would just like to mention a nice win, for me, honestly surprising, a win of Serbian Grandmaster Kovacevic against Polish number 2nd Wojtaszek, 2700 class player. But okay, let's do it now. E4, C5, knight f3, e6. I haven't expected this Paulsen or Taimanov Sicilian, to be honest. But I wanted to play something I haven't before, and I prepared back in time. A6, queen f3. This line, maybe nowadays, the first move according to strong engines is g4, but queen f3 used to be the most popular line a few years ago, I guess. It's probably no better.
Is the main idea after queen f3 to put your queen on g3?
Yeah, and offer queen trades in order to take with h-pawn and play slightly better endgame on the long term. Knight e5, queen g3, h5. I think aggressive approach by black, but still one of the best moves. And after h4, I try to remember my preparation, and I decided during the game not to avoid h4 and play a lot of moves with queen. H4, and now there is some risk after eventual f4 to allow his perpetual knight on g4, but maybe it's not playing such an important role. What do you think?
About this position or about f4, knight g4?
About knight g4.
I wouldn't allow his knight to come on g4, but that's just my personal feeling.
Yeah. Okay, b5, castle. Now I think bishop b7 also allows sacrifice on b5. d6, I don't know. I haven't checked my database what is the main move here. Maybe b4 is a good attempt in order to stop all of these motifs with bishop b5. But it allows knight to go on a4 and some dark square weaknesses on queen side. He played knight f6, and I tried to remember my preparation, but according to the engine I saw here on the platform, I made most likely the best move. Takes.
So could you please just wait for a moment? What do you think is the best move here for black? Because as far as I'm concerned, this is already a difficult position for black.
Might be, but my opponent, I guess he is very well prepared and he played very fast till this moment. So I guess he knew this position, but not so sure. He spent 5 minutes. You can see he spent 5 minutes, 7 minutes for b5 and 5 minutes for knight f6. So probably he used to analyze this position. But
and then when you sacked on b5, he spent 15 minutes on that one.
yeah,
Looks like he got surprised there.
might be. Here I try to remember my preparation, and I know that the motive to sacrifice the rook for 3 pawns exists, but I try to remember is it the right position, and I decided to enter this line.
So it turned out you were right.
Yep. He has to go on b8, otherwise knight on e5 is hanging. Bishop f4, pinning. Now knight fg4, f3. There are not any unpinning motifs or some intermezzo moves, I guess. So d6.
Probably he put all his hopes into this position based on d6 here.
Okay, if my guess is right, he predicted the rook sacrifice and he was afraid of this during the game. he tried to find another way to continue the game, but he decided to play this critical line. Okay, everything is.
So you sacrificed first the bishop, now you sacrifice another knight, now you sacrifice rook.
Yeah, okay, and I am taking knight back, so the sacrifice is rook for 3 pawns, but with a strong initiative. The problem is that g7 is hanging with double attack. He should put his queen on dark diagonal, giving me another tempo. And okay, queen f8, this is a move to one bullet, 2 birds, so defending the queen and the pawn at the same time, but after bishop d6, queen g8, it looks quite weird for him. There must be enough initiative
absolutely.
for me.
Bishop d6, queen g8, maybe even knight b5.
Yes, or even quiet moves like rook d1 comes to my mind. I was not sure, but here I evaluated that sacrifice is good. He played queen c5, the move I expected. Now rook d1 was part of my consideration, but then a knight g4 exists, and somehow my initiative disappears. He is threatening even queen f2 or knight e3. So I played
just out of curiosity, I believe it's one of the crucial moments of the game after you did all these sacrifices. Queen g7, queen e5, queen h8, you have compensation, nothing more than that.
I don't think so. King e7 following with bishop b7 could be only danger for my king, because he saved his king and sacrificed all his passive pieces for the monster bishop on e5, so I think this is not a good follow-up for me. I haven't even considered queen g7 to capture immediately. Maybe after bishop d6, queen c6, then to take, but I think it's not quite good.
So great move, bishop d6, to conduct your attack in the initiative.
Queen c6 expected to keep eye on bishop in order to avoid queen g7 temporary. And after e5, maybe the best continuation is to go knight g4, and after f3 to sacrifice this knight back in order to finish development. But I guess this endgame is winning for me on long term.
During the game, I was analyzing knight g4, f3, and the conclusion was that white is a lot better, maybe even winning, I don't know, but that he had to go with the knight g4. That's the only way to try to defend this position.
Yeah, most likely. He probably wanted to trick me here after knight e4 to lure me to capture. May I move here or not?
Yes, you can move.
Yeah. So takes, queen h7, and it looks tempting because there is a plenty of checkmate motifs like this, but okay, he always has some queen h6 in order to trade, but some motifs like this, okay, imagine that queen h6 is not here, something like this. Or not, wait, not this one, bishop c5 maybe, quiet move, but generally when I saw queen h6 I decided to not calculate anymore. I have to accept this challenge, and let's go back to the game. Takes, check, and b takes c3. Okay, I'm curious now, after b takes c3.
Engine didn't like that move.
Yeah.
But I also thought about queen f8 during the game. And I'm just wondering if it works or not. I didn't calculate anything.
Yeah, there is plenty of checks like knight a2, and if I go back on b1, knight c3 also exists, but yeah, maybe bc3 following with bishop b4. I have, but I missed that.
Probably b takes c3 should be the best practical solution.
Yeah, because I saw after queen c3 there is a lot of perpetual chances for perpetual for my opponent, but after rook h3.
Rook h3 is a great move.
I am lifting my rook on d3, and bishop controls all the important square for perpetuals b8 and b4. I actually expected queen a1 with some checks, but now he helps me to come on a dreaming square with my rook. Now I'm always threatening some unpinning, and maybe king c3 or king c1. I think both of them work. But okay, maybe that was a bit better practical chance, since I haven't already put my queen into some checkmate threats. But okay, he decided after long thinking to play queen e1, and probably that was very how to say, clever and tricky line, because the rook d3 is the most tempting, but then rook a2, and we are entering the equal endgame. But okay, queen f8. Now 100% there is no check, perpetual check after rook a2, queen c2. So he played rook a7, but not actual threats, beside rook b7, which is not such a big deal. And after rook c3, his king is completely trapped. Rook b7, and after bishop b4, he resigned.
Fantastic game.
Thank you.
Congratulations, great game. Well conducted attack from the beginning till the end. Would you mind joining me here for analysis for the rest of these games?
Yeah, sure.
Also, since you're now 2.5 points out of 3 games, you have a great chance till the rest of your tournament. Tomorrow you're gonna play someone really good.
Yeah, okay, that's the dreaming continuation of this tournament, because I came here to grab the experience and to face the strong players.
Should we say the magic word to get a GM title?
Okay, we will see. I don't feel under the pressure. I'm playing game by game, trying to give my best every single day, and we will see.
Okay, let's go with the games. So Milos previously mentioned that Kovacevic beat Wojtaszek, which is a big win. Today, Serbians had a fantastic day. But before that, let's just go to Kadrić against Jules Mussar, because it's a fantastic game by Kadrić. I wish I found him down there because I also wanted him to be here as a guest. So it was a Grand Prix attack. Kadrić played at bishop b5, bishop d7, a4. He likes these type of things in the Grand Prix attack. You're familiar with his opening choices with white?
Yeah, I was following some of his games, because I played last week against him two single games in Montenegro and Rapid and Blitz Championship, so I checked his games a little bit. But I think he is a very dangerous player, especially with white. He has accurate preparation. He is always play for the win, and I guess he has a really good memory. So he knows every important move orders.
Yeah, exactly.
Preparation and some important nuances in openings.
I'd say that one of the turning points of this game was here, when his opponent went for e6, trying to calmly finish and complete his development, but then all of a sudden came out of nowhere e5. He wants to play knight e4 with the knight d6. Black just went with knight b5, and from this point onwards, his opponent had terrible problems with the space. And after d4, bishop e3, queen c8, played rook a6, and all the time, while I was just following and analyzing this game, I didn't see a good way for his opponent to somehow reposition his pieces or to get some space. How would you assess this?
Yeah, after knight b5, 8b5 trade, this pawn looks like a bone in a trot in black position. So it is not so easy to choose a lesser level between b6, making a7 perpetual backward, or to keep the tension with some possible a6 break to try to force matters. And get rid of this weak pawn. So
This one is nice. By the way, bishop b5
Yeah,
doesn't
of
work because of
course.
knight c6, just because of others.
yeah,
So after like c4, queen a1, queen c7, bishop f2, knight e7, queen a3, bishop c8, rook a4, bishop f8, b4, and after c takes, according to the engine, only mistake in the game, but to be honest, I don't know why, was c takes b3. Obviously, engine prefers something else, but doesn't matter. Black had his chance in the game here. Probably queen takes c3, right?
might be.
And I guess he wouldn't hesitate. He would go with this.
Wow.
And after queen d3, I guess he would go with the rook a7.
He's so far away from castling. I think it's really dangerous, but okay, engine is not afraid of anything. So
I also believe this is not a human type of position, and it's absolutely reasonable to go with this, with the white pieces. Of course, that's why Musar avoided this. And now we're just gonna go throughout this part of the game a little bit faster. We've been following this game. This rook 4 to a2 in order to transpose his rook to c2 was one of the crucial moments as well. After that, played h3, played g4, then moved that rook all the way to the second rank, played bishop d2, and we've been following with lots of patience here. King f2, bishop e8, and I remember when he made this move, I just said I would hardly make the following move. I would always go with some f5, which
yeah,
also opens
to
up.
break through. Yeah, of course.
But he played g5.
G5. Okay, according to engine, not the best move, obviously, but I like this one. Since black is totally stuck, so Kadric could play on both flanks, I guess.
Exactly. That's
Bishop
a
pair
very.
is totally useless and restricted, so
So after queen b4, played rook h2, removing the defender on the h file, and then he just found a way to penetrate with the knight g4. Fantastic. So after queen c4 captured, played rook h1, jumped knight f6, played knight e4, and the guy resigned because he couldn't stop rook h8 and bishop b4.
yeah, very nice game, especially from positional point of view. I really like this. Yeah, black pieces are totally stuck or game long.
Congratulations to Dennis. He did a great job today against one of the top favorites in the tournament. And that's the only win on the first and top 10 boards. Korobov in the meantime won. Moritzi is playing Ponomarev. How would you assess this endgame?
Black is winning. He should just go with king actively, and X-World Championship probably would know this just to find accurate move orders.
Yeah, I also think so, but
There are some motives to fall in a check or trap if he goes king f5, queen g6, but I think it's not so dangerous. Pawn on a2 is decisive, and he should just go king actively
nice.
to pick all these pawns and okay,
Winning for black for a Greek player who keeps making very nice results against stronger guys. This is winning, so Sargsyan is lost there. Then
Sargsyan is used to play on first board.
sorry, not Sargsyan, Shanser.
Yeah. Okay. Black is winning.
Black is winning. This was drawn most of the time, and then Sanal used his experience and in this endgame somehow outplayed the youngster from Turkey. This was a relatively nice chance for, by the way, this guy is also Sargsyan, but Shant Sargsyan. Okay, so Pretke won. Pretke won. He's also Serbian.
Yeah.
So Pretke managed to win somehow this position. it wasn't that promising most of the time. Look how he trapped his rook on the middle of the board.
Yeah. Okay, so just pushing
But-
queenside pawns and. Okay,
But what
I
if
will
h5?
Yeah, I will just ignore it.
Ah, he would just ignore it. Nice. Nice. What a surprising way to, because yeah, this is exactly one of his main strengths. Out of nowhere, he finds some resources to win the game. Didn't look like that, but he managed to win this game. Alexander Kovacevic beat Wojtaszek. That's a big win. I've been talking about Alexander and how strong he is when he's in shape. Let's take a look at the last part of the game, because this is the moment where after e takes f4, I said that he should be winning, but there are some practical chances for black due to the possibly weak dark squares and the bishop on g7.
Okay, so there must be something concrete, since e takes f is a logical move in order to get rid of stupid bishop on g7.
Mm-hmm. And now he played g5 followed by bishop g4.
Mm-hmm.
But just like you see, he went with f3, bishop takes, and here he played a mistake of the game, knight h5.
What was the...
I don't know.
correct
We just have to
continuation?
check it out. Probably some... He threatens bishop g4. By the way, I'm just trying while I'm commentating this not to use engines at all. So basically, we're just trying to figure out what's happening on the board, just like all of you guys who play your games. So, but I don't see what was black supposed to do in this position.
Okay, since knight h5 is not a good move, only logical continuation is to make some positional sacrifice in order to play bishop e5 as soon as possible and try to exploit compensation, but
Maybe to sack knight for one pawn, then to give bishop e5 check to take the second pawn on h3 and to get something, but I'm not so sure. Maybe knight, I don't know. I don't see a move for black. Neither did Wojtaszek.
Yeah.
So it's not easy at all.
yeah, okay, he was 12 minutes left, but he was so close to increment, move 39.
Wojtaszek spent 4 minutes for this one, almost 5, and he
Yeah.
couldn't find the defense.
Yes.
There must be something crazy difficult here. He played knight h5. Kovacevic played bishop g4, and after bishop e5, king h1, queen a7, rook takes c8. He won a piece like this, defending himself properly with this move.
So rook f2 doesn't work because rook c7 exists.
Congratulations. So rook f2 doesn't work because of rook c7. Nice. He went for h4, brought the rook here, so rook f2 cannot work anymore, and played queen to e2, solidifying his game. Probably wants to go with the king on g2 and solidify himself, or play knight h2.
Knight h2, knight f3 or knight g4, and he activated himself in wait with the knight on some good square, and there is no real chance for black to save the day here. This is a clear piece down.
Fantastic results for Serbians. So Pretke won, Injic won, Alexander Kovacevic won, and my guest, international master Miloš Stanković, won as well. Fantastic. Let's take a look at the game of Injic here, who also won. So we're just now checking some of these wins Here, Injic absolutely outplayed, and he did something similar what Pretke did. Trapped absolutely. Zugzwang, exactly. Look at this one. Bishop on g8 cannot move. Rook on h4 as well. Very lovely ending by...
There is no stalemate chances, so black should give up here.
This is great.
You have to patriotical approach today, I guess.
Yes. Yes, and we just have to show some of patriotism in our commentating. Let's go with the rest of these games today. So, Moritzi against Ponomarev, and now it's
the same, I think.
It's the same, okay. So, Nguyen against Virni, very similar. Queen endgame, pawn up.
Yeah, but the problem is that queen g6, queen f4 leads to stalemate.
Congratulations. So, stalemate.
Most likely it's a drawish endgame.
Most likely it's a drawish endgame. So, just out of curiosity for spectators, if queen takes g6, you always have a very nice stalemating idea. And by the way, even if you don't take, the king is in stalemate. So, this is just like you said, most likely drawn. What else do we have there? Korkolas is winning against Sargsyan, Gorstein against Kozubov.
They will have a late dinner today?
You think they won't even be even manage to get a dinner here? Because yeah, you're right. This is going to be a difficult for both of them. But it's roughly equal.
Yeah.
Sanal is Dimitrios Mastrovasilis is completely winning. He's in full control here. He's up 2 pawns, and I don't see how is Zanan going to defend this position. So this is winning. Sanal is now completely winning. Do you agree?
Yes. So there is no entrance for white king. Probably king e4. If you move the knight, king f4, king g3. Knight on c5 is a monster, and I think this is decisive for this endgame.
Anton Guijarro against Rashev. He's up a pawn. What do you think? Would he be able to convert this?
I don't know. This is still tricky. His king is exposed, but his major pieces are fully centralized, so he has everything under his control. But it's difficult if you want to improve your position. You have always to calculate a lot of intermezzos and checks. If you decide to take some pawn, activity for white becomes really dangerous. And okay, so both of them are very close to serious time trouble.
Yeah, rook d6 followed by rook d2 looks possible.
But he made I'm also giving my best not to use the engine, but I cannot skip this moment. Previous move he was 272, minus 272 according to engine, and queen e6 was a mistake. Maybe try to find a winning move here.
He was a lot better at this point, but he just played queen e6 not to get under any kind of a check here.
Yeah, restricting the pawn and queen, but yeah, good reply rook b3 probably in order to play rook b1 or rook b2.
I only see rook d6 as a logical one, followed by rook d2. And I don't even see how is he going to defend rook e4 followed by rook e2. So rook d8, followed by rook d2 and rook e4, rook e2. I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, it takes a long time, I guess.
But he's got a very nice winning chances in this game, I guess, still.
I agree.
What else? Nikidze is winning against Petrosian.
Okay, this is sorry, this is just up to technique.
I
White
also
is so passive.
Black is completely winning. This guy is incredibly low rated in this tournament because he used to be 25-50 and now he's doing very nice. Yesterday drew against Injic, today he's winning. Samunenkov against Chigaev.
What do you think?
I think he won't be able to win this.
Yeah.
Especially considering the fact that he can always play rook to d3, can take on g4 and put a knight back if needed to hold the pawn on d6 or d7 if he tries to push it.
Yeah, but there is probably chances to repeat with rook e6, and when you unpin, deliver a check on e7 again.
Yeah.
Maybe it would be a good decision to repeat once for Ukrainian talented Samuenkov. But we will see. It's a round draw most likely.
Yeah, he played bishop e5. He's pushing for a win, but knight g4, d7, it doesn't work. So I don't know.
Yeah, very unpleasant. Suddenly, there is no rook b2 check.
From practical point of view, he still keeps some winning chances here. Because knight g4, d7, rook to d3, bishop c7.
Yes, and there is no real chance to sacrifice the knight for 2 pawns. And rook e6 is very unpleasant.
I don't know. If you play knight d5, d7 wins. If knight g4, d7, rook to d3, bishop c7, knight to... maybe knight to e3 check. And if you play rook to e3, rook d7. And if you play king somewhere, knight f5. That's the only thing I see. Knight g4, d7, rook d3, bishop c7, knight e3 check. If rook e3, rook d7. So I'm talking about this one. Knight g4, d7, rook to d3, bishop c7.
Knight check, but...
Knight check, if you take rook d7 is drawn, and if king goes somewhere, just knight f5. And then he doesn't have rook e6 because of this, right?
Yeah, rook d6 is a problem, but you have unpinning after knight takes and knight e4 check, so maybe to choose another square for your king, because rook d6 would be a nice tactics.
You found the tactics, huh? Yes, you're right. Let's see what's going to happen in that game because it's pretty weird. He played knight g4. And now we'll see if he's going to find your rook d6 resource.
Yeah, but I think bigger necessity is to find a good square for the king. Because there are always some check possibilities.
So wait a sec. Knight g4 in the game was d7.
Rook d3.
Rook to d3.
Okay, bishop c7.
Bishop c7 is the only move here.
Knight d3 check.
What else but bishop c7? I mean, he has to go with that, right?
Yeah.
So it's the line that we both analyzed here. Will the young Ukrainian prodigy find this?
Rook e6 check.
He played rook e6.
Oh,
Even better.
Missed, yeah.
Even better. We both missed and Chigaev missed it as well. And that's how he's gonna
Resign the game.
resign the game.
Okay,
Nice.
I know it's a critical moment, but I guess you don't have so much time left, and you want to invite Montenegro #1 here in studio. So I would just like to wish to my nephew Stefan all the best because he's celebrating birthday, to live happy, a healthy life on a long term, and to celebrate his birthday today as well. Thanks for inviting me, thanks for watching the program, and I wish you a nice evening.
Thank you so much for coming here.
Okay.
All the best, Milos, and good luck for the rest of the tournament, buddy.
Thank you.
So we're just continuing with these games. You could have seen what happened in that endgame. Simonenkov tricked Chigaev to win this. Okay, Chigaev was defending that game very stubbornly all the time, but all of a sudden, that's exactly what the chess is. I mean, based on lots of tricks, and White is now completely winning. Okay, let's go with let's go with other things. So this is the game that is going to be finished very soon. Ponomarev is winning, Korkolas as well. Gorstein is better against Kuzubov. That game is turning upside down because they're both in severe time trouble. What is looking a lot better here right now because f6 is dropping. Knight on d5 is doing great. He just decided to take on f6, and he's really pushing for a win in this type of game, and Kuzubov is going to have problems to defend this game. So this is going to be an interesting game till the end. Let's just go for another one. Sanal is now completely winning. Master Vasilis was winning, and he's doing good. Anton Giharo improved his game. We just analyzed something there. So after rook dc8, queen e1, it's getting a lot better for black. So he played rook e4. Now he just has to put either rook to double up on the e file or a queen and to push for a win. So that's very interesting. Oh, I just have to say something. We would like to congratulate to our football striker Dejan Jovelic. MLS League just started and he scored the first goal. Go Dejan! Oh yeah! So we are just supporting Serbian footballers. This guy scored a goal, and we just hope that it's gonna be a beginning of your great season this year. Wish you all the best and so many goals, buddy. So Queen f2 played by white. We're just waiting for Gihara to make his move, but he's just better here. And from practical point of view, it's going to be very difficult for white to hold the pressure. He's under time pressure. Position is worse. He's down a pawn. Gihara has very serious, like ideas on the second rank. So this is good. So this is gonna be with a great practical chances to win the game. What else do we have there? Tersahayan was winning a long time ago, but he's having some practical problems to win this one. So he will have to work a lot more to win this one. Okay. 3 against 3, rook against knight, still a long way to go there to finish him off. Okay. Then what else do we have? Ufa lost to FIDE Master from Germany, who beat Russian GM. Vakatura was a lot better, but he's now playing against Nigalidze. He's up a pawn. He's still doing and performing well here. He's got some knight f6 ideas. Knight f6, e takes f6, queen f6, h6. So he might be having this one, but knight f6 is just an interesting attempt to... He has to move the king somewhere to, for example, g2, so he can cope with some ideas. Knight f6, h6, queen h3. I'm just giving an idea here. Maybe a move like knight f6 here. Let's see what is Vakatura going to do here. That's one thing. What about other games? Sorry, but I constantly have to do this one. Ponomarev is now completely winning, but okay, he was, just like Miloš said previously, he was technically winning and he just had to find a way to finish him off. Just like you see now, today, we just have like a longer games. Sanal is winning. He was winning all the time, and take a look at this poor knight on h5. It cannot get back into the game. What a bad knight. What a bad endgame for white. So he can't do anything with the knight on h5, so he's practically dead lost. And this endgame is done. Let's see Gorstein against Kuzubov. Gorstein is now completely winning. He probably just has to find knight b6 and to take on c4 and to finish him off. Kuzubov is gonna most likely lose this one because they're not even good counter chances to come up with something. Maybe I was about to say rook g1, rook e1, but it brings nothing to black because he could have done that with a rook h1 previously, so he won't do it. I don't even understand the point of rook g3. Maybe some knight f4 followed by rook h2 was worth of considering. Yes, this one with the idea knight takes c4, so Gorstein is completely winning. Let's just see, will he cannot even go with the knight f4 because knight d5 check, but knight d5 not. No, knight f4, knight c4, and if rook g2 to mate him on e2, then just knight takes e5. And if rook e2, king escapes on d4, so king goes to d4. Kuzubov is definitely lost. Yeah, he played in that position after knight b6. He played knight b2, going for rook g2 and checkmate here. Gorstein went with a king f2, and after rook h3 went with a king g2. So he absolutely put his king out of danger zone, and now he's gonna go with the knight e5, repositioning his knight, defending the pawn on c3, and afterwards just going with the rook f5. But he can also keep the rook, keep the king being shut off, or he can just win another pawn and finish him off. This is now completely winning. Okay, let's go with another games. Moritzi Ponomarev. Moritzi is fighting hard, but Ponomarev is going to go king c4, king d3, and king e2, and he's just looking more and more desperate for white. So this is also completely winning position. Korkolas, he's completely winning because the king is very badly placed on h4, so it's, if check just king e4, for example, and it should be enough because king cannot approach because of rook g1 check, and then he just pushes the pawn. So the king is going to be cut off. This is another winning endgame for a great guy. Once again, big win for Denis Kadric today, who is going to be one of the rare sole leaders in the tournament, all together with Korobov, Nasuta, who beat Donchenko, and Kacharava, who beat, actually he didn't beat Rachmanov. I believe it's, oh yeah, it is. Oh yeah, it is. Look at this, Kacharava tricked this guy with a rook c7, rook takes c4, and played knight c7. He was worse most of the game, especially middle game, but afterwards he somehow got the game back and turned the game upside down, then managed to win. So somebody made a comment that this is mistake in the commentary and the result, but it's not. Actually, Rachmanov lost that one. Okay, we're just going to see Sanal is doing against, yeah, he now penetrated with the king. He goes after the pawn on h3, so it's a matter of time when is Gurel going to resign this. Experience wins over the, so Sanal is also young, but not as young as Gurel, but his experience was enough to win this seemingly absolutely drawish type of the game that happened in the Berlin defense. That's what I told you in the beginning. He opted for Berlin defense, probably thinking like, I'm going to slow him down and I'm going to try to win this game by slowing him down and not giving him chances to play any kind of theory here. If knight d6, he's counting on d2, knight f5, king e2, knight d4, and king e1 doesn't work because of knight f3. But do you know what's winning here? Winning is knight d4, king e4. Look at this. This is winning. This, and when you push c5, just a moment. Yeah, and when you push c5, this one. So you're the first one to promote, and when he promotes the queen as well, you just, you just go with the queen c1 and deliver this, yeah, and ending. So knight d6, knight e4 wins on the spot. I believe knight e4, but just one sec. What if this one? Then you just go with the king d4, c5, this one, king to d3. That wouldn't be enough. That wouldn't be enough. So let me just see. That wouldn't be enough. My bad. So it's my bad. Knight 94 doesn't seem to be working in this one. I forgot about king d2. So and in that case, he may be going with king f3 and going after these pawns and winning like this because the h4 pawn is enough advanced in this position. Okay, let's go with, so we have all these draws. Dvirny is drawn, Sanal is winning there, Gorstein is winning now against Kuzubov. Kuzuba without much chances in that position. He keeps on improving his game. That's gonna be one. What happens in other games, Giharo's engine says it's equal, but I still believe that, yeah, now it is. Now it is. He played this move, and he has to go, if rook e6, rook to d3, rook h6, and rook a6, this should be, what a nice turning point here after king h4, rook to d6 was a nice one. Giharo played practically only move, otherwise he would get mated. And after rook to e3, I believe that this guy should take this queen on e6 after rook to, oh, he played queen d1, huh? Rook e6, rook to d3, rook h6. Yeah, that would still give black chances, but wait a sec, how is he going to play this? Maybe rook e1. No, rook e1, queen f3. No, rook e1, queen f3, queen takes d6. So definitely after queen to d1, he can't move the queen. He has to go with, oh, what a nice position here. He can't move the queen because of rook h6 and queen h5 checkmate. If he went with queen f7, it looks like probably white should take on h6. What a nice defense by this guy, Rashev here. He was with lots of practical problems during the game, but he somehow managed to save this one. Wow, nice. Rook takes h6, king g5, queen here, queen d6. You know what? Giharo is playing on the verge of loss here. He has to come up with only moves in order not to lose his game, and he was all the time a lot better because somehow now, all of a sudden, his opponent created so many nice counter-attacking chances. This is very interesting. Look at this one. So queen cannot move because of either queen f6 or queen g6 mating threats. Cannot move the pawn to f3 because of queen g3. I only see some pawn moves like, or maybe rook moves. Rook from e3 should be moving somewhere. Okay, even queen can move, for example, to g7 in some of these variations to attack that rook. So Giharo, this is very interesting position, and I won't guess anything about this one. Also, you just need to understand the current moment in these games. They're running out of time. It's been 5.5 hours ever since they began their games. Yeah, queen g7, I mentioned this move. Also, you have to keep in mind that tiredness is so big right now. And that's the problems with the endgames. You just play them at the moments when you're running out of time, when you're tired the most. And most of us anyways, study endgames the least of all these areas of the game. Queen g7 was a relatively nice move. Both of these guys play on the verge of losing their games but okay, Giharo was absolutely the guy who had like advantage from the beginning till the end. And now it says, let's see, rook takes h3, if the king takes queen h7 mate, rook takes h3, g takes h3, and queen, rook takes h3, g takes h3. He has to take on h3, I believe. And on g takes h3, he probably can go with something like queen c3, queen e7. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what happened. So he took on h3, took on c3, and now it looks like he should be winning here. On queen e7, he can cover himself with the queen. He threatens lots of these nasty things. This is nice because positions are changing really fast now. And also due to the fact that all these guys play under serious time trouble, just like you see, mistakes are big. Queen d8. Let's just see. Queen d8. If queen f6, king g8, king h5. No, king h5 doesn't work. King h6. So queen f6, queen g8, king h6. And there are no more checks. It's not going to be working. So queen f6, queen g8, king h6. He would be up to pawns. Still some skills he has to show in that position and to finish that one, but I believe queen f6 should be enough to get into winning position. Here, safest place for the king is on h6 as far as I see. Because queen g8, just queen d8 and almost some perpetual check there. So king h6, that's the way to put your king in a safety in similar type of situations. So we're just waiting. Let's just see if he's going to go with the king h6, and then I'm going to tell you the most important results tonight. And yes, king h6, queen threatens on f4. Now he can just go with queen b2 check, and then queen a1 check, then taking on a2, completely winning for Anton Gihara now. Let's go and let's move on to the games. The biggest win tonight is by Denis Kadric playing white in an absolutely amazing strategic way. He beat Jules Mussar, one of the top favorites in this tournament. All other games were drawn. Mauritius lost to Ponomaryov. Nasuta beat Donchenko. Korobov managed to beat Stremovicius. More or less, we expected that. Kacharava turned the game upside down and beat Rachmanov. That's very strong performance by white. Gorstein beat Kuzubov. Another big upset today. Safarli managed to win that. Dimitrios Mastrovasilis in his style outplayed and eventually beat Zenon. In Turkish derby, Sanal managed to win. Maritrosian won as well, and some big wins by Serbian guys. Pretke won against Castellanos. Kovacevic won against Wojtaszek, a big win. Congratulations to Alexander. Injic just made another nice win. Bakro and Satos Latasa as well. And finally, Kuparadze beat Rothstein as well as Samonenkov against Chigaev. Tersahayan is winning right now. Miloš Stankovic, he was our guest tonight. He made a great win over Lagarde. So we're slowly but surely finishing this broadcast for today. Hope that you enjoyed. Tomorrow we're gonna have like some nice other guests, and once again we have to congratulate to a biggest winner for tonight. It's Denis Kadric doing a fantastic game against a French player who was in top 5 favorites to win this tournament, Jules Mussar. Kadric convincingly managed to win that game with the white pieces. Thanks for watching and see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.